Well, the weatherman said it was going to be a beautiful day up near Buffalo, New York, today on Saturday the 13th. But, well, I don't know. Does that look like condensation to you? Kind of looks like it's spreading out to me. You know? I mean, planes are flying diagonally. I mean, if you fly east from that, which is to the right, that's to the airport. I mean, but you got planes flying left and right, north and south. Goes right down there beyond the tree line at the top. Got horizontal lines there, all in the circuit of the sun. I mean, it's light today, what I would call light chemtrailing, but it's there. It's subtle. That's all chemtrail cloud there. I mean, I look at this shit and it goes all the way across the sky. People want to say that's condensation vapor. I mean, if that's how you get through the day, you want to have an easier day, and you don't want to face any adversity, okay, so personally or independently you can't do anything about it. Well, that's not true. You can tell others, you can research it, figure out what they're doing. They tell you. They call it solar shield, solar geoengineering for their what they call global warming, which I don't believe in. Global warming to me is just a scam. You know, if you're a Christian, you know Revelations. It's not something the churches like to study on because it's scary. You know, they don't want people coming to church to get scared. They want money for the coffer. So they keep it happy, like Joel Osteen, you know. But Revelation says, before the Lord's return, before the Master's return, that there will be earthquakes, pestilence, the oceans will roar, all types of stuff. So in my opinion, global warming is just a cover-up for when these things of the Lord start occurring. They'll blame it on global warming. They don't want people to equate an earthquake here, roaring seas there, pestilence all over. They don't want people to say, hey, I heard that as a kid from the Bible. Could that be what's going on? Could the Master, Yeshua, Jesus Christ HaMashiach, be on his way? They want you to think that we did it. It's global warming. Oh, there's earthquakes and roaring seas, terrible weather. You know, they got planes that can beam laser beams down in California and start forest fires. They got HARP and DARPA. All those places are, look at that. That's not condensation. Look at this piece of shit. He's flying his big long chemtrail right there for the sun. Block it out. That chemtrail right there will turn into that over there. That's not condensation. Okay, you can see it begin there, surpass the tree, and it extends over there. All that is chemtrail haze. It's not condensation. It's spreading out into a blanket of white haze. But what I was saying is, the global warming hoax is because they don't want you to equate what's coming with the Bible. The signs in diverse places, people starving to death, earthquakes, roaring seas, you know, total, an entire bay disappears, you know, the water's gone on the shoreline. So global warming is a terrible hoax. You know, and it perpetuates this bullshit about solar shield. They want to block out the sun. The sun's heating the planet, overheating the planet. So if they block it out, it'll cool the planet. And every time I say that, it gives me a headache, because I used to believe we lived on a giant that I lived on the outside surface of a giant spinning rock where billions of tons of water / the oceans are on the outside surface, on the top, sides, and upside down of this spinning giant ball, spinning faster than a bullet at the equator. Okay, the equator is the halfway line that separates the northern and southern hemispheres on the globe. Okay? And if you're standing there, the earth, the ground you're standing on, is supposedly spinning 1,000 miles an hour, 1,039 or 1,040 miles an hour. Well, a mediocre average bullet travels 1,000 miles an hour. Okay? And if you think the ground that we're sitting on is spinning, you're just indoctrinated and brainwashed since kindergarten. Imagine if they didn't tell you about the globe in kindergarten, whereas they waited till you were 15. You'd laugh at it. That's why they gotta introduce you to the globe in kindergarten to get you used to it, and then tell you about a magical force called gravity, so that you learn through the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth grade that it's okay to believe that you can stick to the outside surface of a giant spheroid. It's malarkey. Gravity remains a theory, 500 plus year old theory, because it's never been directly detected itself. You always have to do observations or rely on its alleged effects or results. You never see gravity itself. People will say, well, step on a scale. That's gravity. No, it's not. It's density. The gravity detects, the scale detects your density. Okay? Gravity is a theory because it's never been directly detected per current. You know, like a current of electricity, field, a magnetic field, a ray, you know, like a ray gun, a beam of gravity. There's never been a laser, like a laser beam. What else? Particle. No particle of gravity, no field, no wave, no current, no nothing. There is no device or instrument or person that has ever directly detected gravity. And that doesn't make no sense. I mean, both electricity and magnetism combined are not as important as gravity. Okay? So gravity would have to physically engage, interact, or engulf all the Earth's oceanic water to physically hold it or pull it back towards the center of the Earth. It would have to do that by physical means of presence and substance. If anything is real, it has presence and substance. Gravity has neither. Gravity is just a word that's made up, that they tell kindergartners through K to the 12th grade. It's okay to believe that you're standing upside down in the southern hemisphere. And there's no problem with it. That big cargo ships are sailing upside down and gravity's making everything okay. It's ridiculous. I can't get over how indoctrinated I was. When I first came across the flat earth, I thought it was ridiculous. I avoided it. It was always in my suggestion, the lineup, what's next. You know, I had to turn off autoplay, or, you know, I didn't want no videos I didn't want. I was into the moon. Look at that. There's a big ass hawk. Wow. I hope I'm getting that. Wonder what he's after. Well, it looks like a red-tailed hawk. Dang, I wish I could have had my zoom lens out here. But I thought it was stupid until, you know, I said, okay, let me see what these fools are saying about the edge. You know, because that's what comes to your mind, there's an edge. No, there's no edge. This, what we live on, is all level, and it could be infinite. They want to say a vacuum is infinite. That's nothing. The lack of atmosphere, I'll get to that. That's the biggest ridiculous belief I've ever heard of. But What we stand on, this ground here, it could be infinite, north, east, west, and south. That's what's infinite. You know, you hear about things like continental drift. That could have, I'm not saying that's real, because there's no core to Earth the way they describe. No drill has ever been past 8 miles. And they want to say that the Earth's core is thousands of miles down. That's ridiculous. Could you imagine a molten core, magnetic, iron, or nickel, whatever, spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, as hot as they say it is? You can heat up a magnet. Once a magnet's heated up to a certain temperature, it loses its property. It has no magnetism. It's everything they say is straight up ridiculous and to the contrary of what can be demonstrated. Okay, everything is level. Now, when I came across one fact that I could verify myself was water and mass / large bodies of water. And there's many forms of water. You know, you got vapor and gas, you got ice, you got minute amounts of water, which is a raindrop, which can curve because of skin tension. And then you got water and mass, or large bodies of water. And when it comes to large bodies of water and mass, they will always, per the physics, nature, and reality on Earth, will always seek and maintain its level. It will always flow downhill. You fill a cup, tub, sink, or any pool for your child, and you look at the surface, it's level, it's flat, it's flush. Okay? And when you look above large bodies of water at the horizon, it's horizontal. Could you imagine a horizontal horizon for 360 degrees? Well, that's what you have. There's no curve in the horizon. Okay, water and mass. They say the Earth is 70% water. Well, I guarantee you, if there was a gun to my head and the gunman knew the truth and he asked me, is that true? Are all the lakes and oceans, besides waves caused by wind, is it level? Is it flat? And I'd say yes. I'd look him right in the eyes and say yes. Absolutely. Because the only way you can curve large bodies of water is with a fisheye lens or composite. So 70% of the Earth is level. All its water. The water cannot curve. The way they depict the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans is absurd. Water can't do that, especially by a force that's never been directly detected itself per current, wave, beam, field, ray, or particle. That's why it's a 500-year-old theory, and I even question it being 500 years old, because most of history's a lie. The Civil War was grossly exaggerated. If you really think in 1860, when they didn't even have canned food capability, that they could field 100,000-man army and feed it and clothe it and move it from here to there 20 miles a day, you're crazy. I collect Civil War tintype pictures and ambrotypes and daguerreotypes, and my collection is second to none. And I've went through the Civil War archives, and there's no pictures depicting more than 8 or 9 men dead. Now, if you know about the Civil War, Antietam, Shiloh, Gettysburg, they're reporting 20,000 casualties. And they had photographers. I forgot the one guy's name, Matthew Brady. They would follow these armies around, supposedly, and take pictures. And there's no... If you had a battlefield full of 20,000, 10,000, even 1,000 men, you could take their picture. Not one picture exists depicting more than 10 dead. 8 to 10 men dead. That's ridiculous. Okay, they had a group called the Copperheads in New York that were fiercely against Abraham Lincoln, trying to end the war. You know, and if they could have got pictures of dead like that to show the public, the Civil War, the conclusion would have came a lot sooner. Okay? They would have probably let the Confederacy be their own little country, you know, if they could have got pictures like that. If Matthew Brady would have, he wasn't the only one. There were many photographers, but it's all exaggerated. I know for a fact that the Civil War was just a 4-year skirmish, you know, 500 men against 400. There weren't General Grant, Commander, Lieutenant General of the Army of the Potomac, reportedly having 140 to 160,000 men on the field at his command in a 10-mile radius. Are you fucking, there's no way. There's no way that they could have, and General Lee, with 80,000 Confederates, no more than 50 miles from him at any given time, that's ridiculous, okay? That's a lie, okay? They didn't have, oh, they gave them hardtack, my ass. They would have had desertion would have been left and right. They could have never held an army like that together for 4 years with nothing, nothing. Going with your forage cap to pick apples, my ass, that's bullshit. Okay, 600,000 men did not die in the Civil War. I highly doubt that even 100,000 men took place in the whole thing, North and South.